Hi, I'm Ron Doran with the Driver's Seat TV. We're here today to talk about trucks, in particular, two of the best-selling full-size trucks in America. From Ford, we have the F-150, and from Toyota, we have the Tundra. Now, there's been a lot of hype about the F-150. Here to help us peel back the layers of the onion behind all that hype is Jason Nunemaker from Toyota Motor Sales USA. Jason, welcome.
Hey Ron, thanks for having me. Yeah, we think a lot of the new F-150. However, our Tundra, we think offers a better value, and when you look at the capabilities of the truck, better performance in some key areas.
In order to make this test as fair as possible, we equipped these two trucks with very similar options. We have mid-grade crew cabs with the most popular powertrains and options. Here we have an XLT crew cab with a 5.5-foot box, 4x4, with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost engine and trailer tow package versus the Tundra SR5 Crew Max, 5.5-foot box, 4x4, with a 5.7-liter V8. From a pricing perspective, the F-150 comes in at $44,185, while the comparably equipped Tundra is less expensive at $38,130.
You know, it's critical that we're comparing apples to apples here when we look at these trucks. Some of our competitors like to publish big torque numbers, horsepower numbers, payload, and they do it in such a way that they want you to think that that's the same truck, and that's just not the case. When you look at the average retail consumer, they are purchasing these trucks. This is representative of our highest volume truck. This is Ford's highest volume truck, and when you look at the capabilities, our truck offers simply awesome performance and just flat out a much better value than the F-150.
Let's talk about the value proposition of these trucks.
Yeah, so ALG, Automotive Leasing Guide, they're really the foremost authority on residual values, resale values of these trucks. And Tundra, over the last 4 years, has really consistently outperformed the F-150 in residual values. We're about 5 percentage points higher than the F-150.
That's impressive. So on a $40,000 truck, 5% over a 3-year lease, that's an extra $2,000 in a Tundra owner's pocket.
That's right.
But there's more to this story, right? There's the standard equipment that you get with the Tundra.
Right, and also capabilities too. So about 83% of full-size truck owners, they purchase their truck to either tow with or to haul things with or to work with, and the remaining 17%, they really buy the truck for image. Tundra is not designed for these image consumers, really. Our engineers really designed and built this truck to perform at a very, very high level, consistently over a very long service life. I'll give you one example of just that kind of QDR that we put into our trucks. The internals of our transfer case, we went to the supplier that builds our transfer case and we gave them the specs on what to build for the transfer case. They came back to us and said, basically, are you really sure you want to do this? And our engineers said, yeah, absolutely. They said, well, we've never seen anything like this. That supplier happens to provide transfer cases and other components to other OEMs.
So really a heavy-duty application in a light-duty vehicle.
That's right, and those kinds of examples, that's just one example. Those things are all over this truck.
Let's talk about what's really exciting for consumers, what's under the hood. Your Tundra has a 5.7-liter V8 producing 381 horsepower, very impressive. Ford's gone with a twin-turbo EcoBoost philosophy. Their comparable engine is a 3.5-liter V6 twin-turbo producing 365 horsepower.
Yeah, the truck that we've got here is the 2.7-liter, the new 2.7-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost. Produces a little less horsepower, a little less torque, but you're right, the big torque and horsepower engine in their fleet is the 3.5 EcoBoost. Makes great torque. They're using that engine across a wide range of vehicles, but the engine actually works really well for a truck because it produces great torque at a really low RPM. Now our engine produces more horsepower and at the same time produces really good torque, a little over 400 foot-pounds of torque. But there's more to the story than just what the engine produces. We need to look at how the trucks take that torque and transfer it to the rear wheels. Both engines produce really good torque numbers, and both trucks feature a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, the way that both manufacturers have chosen to deliver that torque to the rear wheels is slightly different, and I'll take you through that. As you can see, the Ford uses a first gear ratio of 4.17 to 1, and with this application they've gone to a 3.55 to 1 rear end differential ratio, which produces ultimately 6,217 foot-pounds at the rear wheels. Now, in the Tundra, we use a first gear ratio of 3.33 to 1, but we use a steeper rear end differential ratio. We use a 4.30 to 1 rear end ratio, which gives us 5,742 pounds. So you can see 6,217 to our 5,742. Fairly close, and you can see the math on the remaining gears. Where we start to produce more torque at the rear wheels is in third and fourth gears, and that's really where you're going to be downshifting when pulling a big heavy trailer. So that's where Tundra really has the advantage over the Ford.
Jason, research shows us that most truck owners are going to tow at some point, some more than others, and obviously both of these vehicles look like they're capable of towing. What sets the Tundra apart from the F-150?
And the difference is that our engineers really insisted on attaching our hitch receiver in a fashion that really is consistent with what they expect from our trucks. So if you look at the F-150, it's essentially bolted to a flange that hooks onto the back of their frame. This is one side of our receiver hitch, and this basically we use 12 grade 11 bolts between the two pieces like this, and it basically moves all that weight closer to the rear axle. So this is a much more robust piece, and it gives you a sense for what the Tundra was really built to do. Now, let me just show you a couple more things that give you a sense of how our engineers really overbuilt this truck. One is this differential ring gear. That's a 10.5-inch ring gear. That's the largest in the segment. Pretty hefty. We do that for two reasons, obviously for strength and heat dissipation. So that's going to allow Tundra consumers to pull those heavy loads over a very long service life very consistently.
So what else? What else makes this a better towing vehicle than the F-150?
Well, our truck, with any truck or any towing vehicle, the most important piece really is in the brakes. A truck has to do its work safely, and we use the largest brakes in the segment.
As someone who doesn't tow on a daily or even weekly basis, I noticed how important it is to have good brakes during our towing test. Jason is going to walk us through some of the advantages the Tundra has over the F-150 when it comes to braking.
Every Tundra comes with 13.9-inch diameter front brake rotors, and we're the only manufacturer that uses 4-piston calipers.
All right, Jason, let's talk stats. Ford claims the F-150 can tow 12,200 pounds, the most in the segment. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, not this truck. What's not so clear about that to the consumer, unfortunately, is that 12,200, that's on a regular cab, 4x2, 3.5 EcoBoost V6, and that's just not the everyday average retail truck. We're here to compare apples to apples, and so what we have is the volume Tundra and the volume F-150, and our volume truck is an SR5 4x4 Crew Max. Their truck is basically an XLT crew cab with the 2.7 liter, and that's what we've got here. This truck, the Ford, with that configuration, is rated at 8,100 pounds towing. Our truck can tow 9,800 pounds.
Okay, so what if I put the 3.5 liter EcoBoost in this configuration?
If you put the 3.5 EcoBoost in that configuration, your towing goes up substantially. So now you're looking at 11,900 pounds of towing, which is quite a bit in a half-ton pickup truck. But when you go with that configuration in this base truck, then you're looking at almost $7,000 more MSRP than our Tundra. And also you're looking at a truck with the same chassis, same frame, same brakes as that truck that's rated at 8,100 pounds. So how comfortable are you with that?
Well, Jason, let's talk about fuel economy. You know, even though gas is pretty low right now, consumers, especially truck owners, still care about how much they spend at the pump. It's one of the reasons that Ford went to an all-aluminum body. In fact, this truck weighs 820 pounds less than your truck, which comes in at 5625.
Yeah, they've done a great job in lightweighting their truck, and a lot of technology's gone into that. All aluminum body, as you mentioned, we all know about that. At the end of the day, it's all about the actual delivered real-world fuel economy, though.
Ford has put a lot of emphasis into making the all-new F-150 as efficient as possible. Aluminum body, small displacement, turbocharged engines, etc. The question is, how does that translate into real-world fuel economy? We wanted to see for ourselves just what these two trucks are capable of, so we did a 40-mile, pretty steep grade towing test with 7,000 pounds. Both trucks performed quite admirably, but what we noticed is that the mileage advantage that the F-150 has on traditional highway driving all but disappeared in this 40-mile towing test. The Tundra came in at 10.5 miles per gallon with that load, and the F-150 just 11.4 miles per gallon. Jason, let's talk a little bit about the brand strength, because one thing I know about truck owners, they care about what they drive, and we got two very big brands here.
According to ALG, Tundra retains more value than any other truck in the full-size truck segment. And IntelliChoice named the Tundra the best overall value of the year for the last 4 years in a row and the lowest ownership costs. KBB states that Tundra has the best resale value of any full-size pickup truck, and Polk states that over 90% of Toyota Tundras sold over the last 10 years are still on the road today. Plus, Toyotas come with Toyota Care. That's the no-cost maintenance plan with 24-hour roadside assistance for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. So that's something you can't get on the F-150.
Hi Jason, we've covered a wide range of topics today on both of these trucks, everything from MSRP to fuel economy, towing, warranty, etc. So what's the bottom line? What is it that the sales consultants at Toyota dealerships across the country need to know to help build the case for the Tundra over the F-150?
So bottom line, what we need to do anytime we're comparing any of our competitors, we have to be looking at apples to apples. Secondly, capabilities. Our competitors are very capable. Our Tundra is exceptionally capable in a lot of areas. Cost of ownership. Overall, what is it going to cost the consumer to own these trucks? And they need to be aware of those things. So when you look at the capabilities and the cost of ownership over an extended period of time, that equals value. And that's really where Toyota Tundra has the advantage over not only F-150, but all of our other competitors as well.